Yo, what's good, YouTube? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman for this Sunday, September 11th, 2022. And we are here in number 53 in the series of call-in shows, as we have embarked upon this journey to have Sunday morning boxing discussion on the Stormybman channel. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Glad to see you all here. Glad to be here with you for another round. Yeah. Glad to be here, man. We came out of this weekend minus some of the matches that we were looking forward to due to things that have transpired over in the UK that put everything on hold. But, you know, we still have plenty to look forward to, as we've been informed that the matches that were supposed to take place have been rescheduled. So we have to look forward to that coming down the line in about a little over a month, and hopefully everything will still be as exciting as the build-up had become. Salute to everybody out there in the chat, man. Glad to have you guys with me this morning. Says that we got about 10 people out there right now. I want to acknowledge some of you guys that have come into the building. I did a live stream yesterday. Hopefully some of you caught it. You know, the whole point is to get content out there to you and not just talk about the same old things all the time, but also to give you some fare to tune in to. So I was able to do that yesterday, give you a little bit of something, you know, to check out. We got Jared 011 Green out there with the acknowledgement of becoming a member of the channel. What's good with you, Jared? Glad that you become part of the Stormybman family. Who else we got out there? Antonio MMA is out there. Clarence McLean, I see you, brother. Dwayne Jones and Andrew Charles in the building. Just Do Boxing is with us. Mr. Pac-Man 216 out there as well. Flawless Mentality, Dr. Mark is out there. Appreciate you stopping in. And everybody is saluting one another at the moment. Yeah, so it's a Sunday morning here in Chicago. We've had some storms out here this morning. And it's kind of cloudy and overcast, dark and dreary. You can tell the autumn is moving in. It wastes no time. It takes spring or summer forever. But that bad stuff, it comes like in a blink of an eye, man. It's like in a day. You know, you could be outside with a t-shirt on and go out about your way, and before you could get back home, you would have wished that you took your coat with you. That's how it is here in the Chi. So you all who live in those warm climates and the nice states with the weather is always in the upper degrees, you better appreciate it. You better appreciate it. But see, the thing is, if something bad comes your way, y'all don't usually be ready for that. See, here we have to toughen it up. We know what's coming, so we have to hunker down, get prepared, introduce y'all to something that you don't know nothing about called long johns, long johns, long underwear, yeah. Let me tell you something, man. Long underwear in the Chi is just like socks and t-shirts. You know what I mean? So y'all need to learn. Need to learn a few tricks. But I love my Chi, man. I love it. I complain about the weather, but I love it. It gives you a greater appreciation for when the weather changes up, huh? When the temperatures go a different way and you be thinking about, like, man, I can't wait till it's 60 degrees again, you know, and 60 is cold for some of y'all, right? But when we get 60 in the Chi, in the months that it's supposed to be a little chilly, man, let me tell you something. Y'all have no idea, man. Y'all have no idea. Shutting everything down and stuff because there was a frost. You didn't even have snow. It's like, oh, they say it might get 35 degrees. Well, 32 is freezing. So what you complaining about? Huh? No school for 3 weeks. It's like, wait. Y'all be making up excuses, man. We don't do that in the Chi. We be talking about, hey, dig that path out so them kids can go to school tomorrow. Shit. Man, you have no idea. No idea. Huh? Cars start up. You understand? 32 below wind chill factor, and you go out there and hit your car and it says, vroom, and you go on to work. Huh? Some of y'all driving around there in them warm states, you brought your car to Chicago and it, you know, that weather hit like that, and you go to start it up so you could go back home. You go to try, it turn that key and they say, what? Y'all know I'm telling the truth out here this morning. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, it is something. You got to keep, if you a man, you keep them long johns on you like they used to tell you, carry your condoms with you. It's like, just in case it gets cold. Oh, boy. Y'all ain't feeling me, man. It's like, my Chicago peeps, y'all know exactly what it is, man. Know exactly what it is. So, glad to be here this morning, man. Glad to be here. I've been watching you guys out there wearing these little earplug things here, and I thought I'd try me out a set of these things, and got it at a real good price. I think a good price. At least it was a good price for me. I was willing to pluck down and get a pair. But you know, I'm late on the technology. I'm kind of slow. I ain't as fast as some of you guys, you know, be on it right away. Stormy just be creeping on into it like, let me carefully investigate. But on the box, there's a warning label that says cancer and reproductive harm. What? You see? And you want to know why I be careful, huh? That's why. So I won't be wearing these damn things too much. I'm going to tell you that right now. Shh. It's right there on the box, man. And y'all running around with them on your head, listening to them. You know, got your music playing for 12 hours a day. Uh-huh. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. You got to be a little smarter out here. You know, gotta be a little smarter. I got all these devices around me now, man. Got everything going. Man, what we got? So, got a couple more people coming to the building. Sheena is out there. Shawa Allah is out there. Who else we got? PGH Big Dog in the building. Dwayne, I said Dwayne Jones. Okay. Appreciate everybody, man. Smash that like button as you come in, people. But yeah. You know, I talked over this weekend, through the weekend, about the fight card that we were looking forward to. The Savannah Marshall challenge of Clarissa for the undisputed middleweight title in women's boxing. They've moved it forward ahead to the 15th of October. And of course, I don't know what's wrong with my mouth this morning. We've already seen that there were other bouts scheduled for that date. These women had an opportunity to have their spotlight. You know what I mean? I don't like it. I'm going to complain all the way up to the fight. And even after the fight, I'm still going to complain. It has nothing to do with the ladies. It has everything to do with those who make these decisions. These people making the decisions. I just stopped myself because I was going to say something, but I'll hold that in reserve. But just know that I don't like it. I don't like what they're doing. Talked about that a little bit yesterday. And it is by design. It is by design. I don't care that the leadership took a hit in England. This has nothing to do with that, but has everything to do with other things in boxing. You understand? Everything to do with other things in boxing. And it has something to do with the people who are the participants of these events. And as I alluded to yesterday, I talked about, the Titans, Haney, Wilder, Shields. They're Titans. And the powers that be are treating them less than. Absolutely. Salute to the brother, Jared 011 Green out there in that Cash App, man. Thank you so much, Jared. We appreciate you, brother, your contributions. Appreciate you becoming a member to the channel. You know what I'm saying? That's support and love, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Yes, sir. Yep. But I thought I'd give you guys, as we go through this morning show, give you something nice to check out while you're in here. Watch this Titan training, shadow boxing, doing a thing in the gym. She was getting ready to put all that on top of Savannah Marshall's dome. Yeah. It's still gonna happen. We just gotta wait a little longer, that's all. It's, but that's okay. get on the air, and now all of a sudden it's like my eyes are itching and everything. What the hell? Anyway. You got some men fighters out here that don't look this good working out. They don't. This woman is throwing punches with snap. She's got great form. She's got great balance. She's mobile. Okay. And I'm going to tell you something. That ring that she's working out in, that's one of those spongy rings. Those are the kind that I hate. Because you can't get your, it's like it's draining on your legs, really. But she's training in there. And that tells me a lot about her as a fighter. Because when you are on those type of canvases and you're accustomed to training and everything, let me say this. Sometimes when you go to a venue to fight, they'll put a canvas similar to that in the ring. And for those who like are light on their toes and a lot of mobility and stuff like that, dude, that makes it difficult. And it works on your psyche in there. So this woman is training in that type of element. Great. Great. You see? But see, I tell you these things because, again, how many people you hear talking about these type of particularities? Not that others don't know that. I'm not trying to say that, but the talking points of what makes a difference in a fight. I remember someone complaining about, I don't remember who the fighter was, but going into a heavyweight title challenge against Vladimir Klitschko, they ended up being in a ring with a canvas similar to that. And they were like, man, it felt like I was fighting in quicksand. Yeah. And it played hell on their mind. They got stopped by Klitschko too. And see, Klitschko is not going to be moving around on his toes and dancing, right? He's going to be plodding. Very stationary. See? When you have that type of thing going on, it lets you know exactly what a fighter is prepped for and what they're not. So that's one of those instances that you'll see something like that and it'd be like, yeah, Yes, sir. I see JC is in the building. Teach is out there as well. 88 is out there, my man. 88 Sports Talk. And Shawa, man. To say your name correctly, all the person has to do is ask you the pronunciation, or if they know how to read. Reading is fundamental, huh? Yeah. But thank you for that acknowledgement. Big Texas, Cletus is out there. What's good with you? Yeah. That's right, Shower. Thigh and calf muscles should be on point working in that type of canvas. We didn't have in the gym here at Clarendon Park where I work with guys, we didn't have a canvas like that. And at Fuller Park on the south side where I worked with guys, they didn't have one like that out there either. But I've seen and been in the ring with those, and they're not fun. It's like standing on top of a mattress. Huh? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, JC says, I learned much from you, Sensei. I don't know about the canvas. Yeah, man. Because a lot of people don't realize the canvas is not soft, period, okay? It's wooden planks. It's wood. So that's what's supporting the people, the fighters. Now, over that, they could put a pad. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. But over that is like the canvas, the actual, like in there where she is blue. That's a padded surface, you know, and they tie it down and everything. But it's very difficult on those when you just have the regular canvas that's meshed and everything, twined, thread, whatever. Those typically will allow you a smoother movement. That's why you have to have the right type of shoes too. You see some guys in the ring with like look like gym shoes. It's like, man, no. Boxing shoes are designed, and wrestling shoes, they're designed a certain type of way for the benefit of the athlete. Yeah. Absolutely, Antonio. That's one of the reasons why guys work hard to stay off of the damn canvas, because going down there is no fun. If people think it's like, oh, it's like falling on a pillow. It ain't. It ain't. It hurts, man. That's why some guys get hit and they hit their head when they go down. It's like a double whammy. You got hit on the jaw and then you go down and you hit your head on the canvas. It's like, oh, man. Yeah, 88. It's true, man. It's true. Absolutely, man. This is something. Salute to the brother Drew Titan out there in that super chat. He says, they reach, you teach. Salute, Sensei. Hey, man, I appreciate that, Drew. I really do, man. Thank you for your support. A lot of people don't talk. That's why also, like, if you ever saw the heavyweight fight between Michael Moorer and what was it? Alex Stewart. A real knockdown, drag out fight between the two heavyweights, man. They were battling. But Moorer ended up stopping Alex Stewart. But there was a point in the fight where Alex Stewart fell face first on the canvas, and his face, he cut his face on the canvas. because his face hit the surface and slid a little bit. So right above his brow, near the center of his forehead, opened up a horrible gash on his face. It was horrible, but that was due to that canvas, and his weight. So the canvas is not a nice place to be. Keep your ass off the canvas. Only your feet on there, huh? Stand upright. Salute to the brother 88 Sports Talk out there in that super chat as well. We appreciate you, 88, man. Thank you for your donation, man. Thank you. Much respect. Man. Yeah, JC, that's right. Only your feet, man. Your ass or your head shouldn't be on the canvas, huh? At no time. At no time. Huh? I'm reading you guys' comments out there. It's nice to be able to stir a conversation up, get people to have discussions on things typically that you don't see or hear. Going to the poll for a moment. That poll that I put out in the chat this morning for today's show says Alvarez versus Triple G. Who you got? Canelo by KO, GGG by KO, a draw, or a decision for who? Now, right now, the leading consensus is in the poll is Canelo by KO. I think you guys might need to look into that a little bit deeper. A little deeper. And salute to Drew Titan for that video that you put out, bro. I checked it out. Talking about Howdy Doody. Yeah. You made some great points, and I kind of touched on those points a few weeks ago. If you look at where Triple G is from, if you look at where Dimitri Bivol is from, their boxing styles are similar, with the exception of Mr. Triple G has opted to primarily fight with a sense of, authority, trying to be the aggressor and to be powerful. But in the amateurs, the style that he fought with is a lot like how Dimitri Bivol fights professionally. Triple G could perform the same way and do some of the similar things that Bivol was able to do. And Canelo probably doesn't respect that aspect of his game because they're familiar. They fought twice already, and then they sparred together in the gym a few times and everything. So they have some familiarity. And if Triple G never showed that aspect of himself, or if he did and Canelo didn't respect it, he's not going to be worried about that. But understand this about fighters who face each other multiple times. New wrinkles are essential to have different outcomes. So Canelo is probably going to be gunning for a KO. But as the old trainers would always tell you, you go looking for a KO and you could get knocked out. The best set KOs up. And I don't know why no one thinks that Triple G can't knock this kid out. He can. But to be perfectly honest with you, I don't like either guy. So they can hurt each other, and both of them can lay on the canvas for a 10 count as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. I do not like either guy. Neither guy. And I don't say that with bias. It's just that I realize and recognize what they have both done. They both haven't fought the fighters that they should have fought. They both haven't competed with the opportunities toward true legacy as they should. And, you know, I don't have any love for fighters like that in the sport because they're placeholders. They hold the place that keeps someone else off of a particular mark that would allow them to be the best of who they could be in the sport. And it's the PTB that allows these guys a continuous opportunity to be that, placeholders. I mean, for Christ's sake, they were saying that Triple G was as good, if not better, than Marvin Hagler at one point, right? There are fighters that Marvin Hagler destroyed that Triple G couldn't beat. And just because he vanquished Abel Sanchez doesn't let him off the hook, because Abel Sanchez's ass is still on the hook along with Triple G's. It's just two different hooks. That's all. But we feeding them to the same shark tanks. Huh? Yeah. And we're going to cut their flesh a little bit so they bleed in the water. So the sharks will get a full course of what to chew on. Huh? And make sure that Abel's backside is exposed. And, you know, that's the fleshy part. Huh? For the sharks. Yeah. Sorry to be so graphic on a Sunday morning. Some of y'all might be getting ready for church, but you've entered the Stormybman congregation. Yeah. Huh? So let's go ahead and open things up, man. Want to hear what y'all got to say today, huh? Open those lines up. Maybe you could call in and throw something at Stormy that, you know, you might not have considered or whatever. But this fight is coming up next weekend. I'm not looking forward to it. If it were Jamal Charlo or David Benavidez or even David Morrell, I would be happy. If it was Triple G facing one of those guys, I would be happy. If it was Canelo facing Dimitri Bivol again, I would be happy. But that's not what's taking place. Okay, we got 518 in the building. What's good?
What's up, Stormy?
What's happening?
Man, I got a lot to say, man. But, yeah, first of all, to hell with Canelo and to hell with Triple G. That fight's just going to be like a wash.
Maybe not. Maybe not. No, because there are factors here that lay, but they are more along the lines of what my brother Curtis Anderson, aka Kurt Sugar, may he rest in power, used to allude to all the time. The intangibles. The intangibles are what make this fight interesting if you are a boxing person who has interest. I really don't have interest in them because these are two of the most dislikable guys in the sport today. So that takes it all off the table for me. But I still have my sensibilities where I recognize there are elements here that don't make it a wash. It just does not. But there is favor. And the favor factor is huge in the point that Triple G is now over 40 years old. They aged him out just like they did Ruiz and Ortiz. They waited for a particular duration. The fight that Ortiz had against Martin let them know that they had an opportunity to thrive in that challenge. Well, the Murata fight reassured Canelo that maybe now he's ripe for the picking, because Murata, who could punch, by the way, this is what people don't, they dismiss Murata because he's Japanese, but he was a puncher, but he had been off longer than Triple G. And when he banged Triple G to the body, he hurt him, but that's because he's a puncher and he stands there. But guess what? He stood there and got clipped on the chin, and Triple G nearly broke his jaw, which totally took the fight out of him, and Triple G ended up stopping him a couple of rounds later. Now, Canelo is not going to lay on the inside to try to allow Triple G those type of opportunities. But Triple G also knows that Canelo is a different person himself than whom he's fought. And he's got a get back factor in the back of his mind. I feel like I was robbed. They made a draw out of one of the fights. They gave him the decision in another one of the fights. Remember, Triple G had gone through the paces of getting decisions when he didn't KO anybody, and they were making it like he was just, dominant. Well, he didn't dominate Canelo, and Canelo didn't dominate him. They both act like they were afraid to really take risk in the fight. Now, the risk that Canelo's taking now is the fact that the guy is past 40 years old. I'll go in there and go at him now, and maybe I can get him. But see, again, you're talking about a fighter who is accustomed to facing people where he has advantages. You take the advantages away, and he's really got to go to work. You may find out that he's not the fighter that you think he is. It's as simple as that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's almost similar to. I don't want to use like a good fight in past boxing, but it makes me feel like it's like a George Foreman versus like Michael Moore type of fight. But like, I'm just using it as like a base example to say that Canelo is overlooking Triple G, to say, well, this is an easy fight because I got my butt whooped by Bivol, so I should just automatically knock him out. So if I'm Canelo in his shoes, then I'm going to go in there trying to knock him out. I'm not going to go to the decision and just say, oh yeah, like I beat him, because everyone's going to say, oh wow, well, Canelo doesn't look that good anymore after Bivol washed him. So of course, to a marketing standpoint, Canelo would want to knock out Triple G, because it just makes all the sense in the world to knock out a guy that was never on your level, in which you aged him out to get up to this point, versus like, if this is like the Triple G, like after the, Canelo version that beat him that following year, in the second fight leading straight into the third fight, then I think this fight would be a lot more different and a lot more competitive, to the point where I believe Triple G, would have made this fight a lot closer and a lot more unpredictable heading into the fight.
Yeah. Salute to I Am Trill Will out there. I see you, brother. Listen, man. What I like about this is the intangibles. I think that they're going to play such a role that the fight doesn't turn out like most people think it's going to. And if that happens, that's great for boxing. But also take note of this. If that happens, understand that everything else that we've been saying is true. So there is a little bit of sentiment that they hope that Canelo can just wash the guy, knock him out, and be done. And then he'll be back. That's the worst thing that could happen. The best thing that could happen in this fight is that Triple G goes out there, puts his ass on the canvas a couple of times, and batters him around the ring a little bit. Because then what happens is the PTB that gives him the first 6 rounds of a fight, they get exposed even more. Because remember, the Bivol fight and the judges' scorecards, you had a judge that literally gave Canelo 5 out of the first 6 rounds. What the hell fight was he watching outside of just doing what he thought he would do and just be giving the fight to Canelo? The man couldn't even get past Bivol's jab. So when you watch this kind of thing, it's like you've seen the history of this. Triple G has seen it. You think he didn't watch the Bivol fight? And I'm not talking about watching it to see what Bivol was doing to be successful, but to watch it and see the scorecards and be like, There has to be a way to look at what you're seeing and see the bull crap. This man is taking the fight with Triple G because it was his plan the entire time to age the man to a certain degree before taking a third fight. The opportunity just came a little quicker than they may have wanted simply because of the Bivol loss. If he had won against Bivol, he would have probably called out Triple G anyway. You see? That was the plan. Not to go back and face one of the other fighters who deserve a title shot. This guy is a farce. And the sooner people wake up and smell the roses, the better off they will be. Triple G was marketed. He allowed that for himself. But at least he doesn't walk around with the arrogance of accomplishment like this guy does and makes it like, nobody can touch him, but he ain't gonna fight the guys who could touch him. It's like somebody, sitting up saying, I know I'm the best, I'm the greatest or whatever, but they're not gonna give anyone an opportunity to test that theory. Man, I can't wait till this dude is out of the sport. I can't wait. Go ahead, K-Rock.
Yeah, I think it's almost similar to almost like a Mike Tyson in a way, but the problem is Mike Tyson just wasn't disciplined, but Canelo, I think he's on that path. I think Canelo, he's just at that point of his career where he thinks he's like the ultimate warrior, nobody can't mess with him. But it's there's plenty of people that could definitely take him down, but it's just he's not willing to actually be exposed to that high level again. And I've said this countless times numerously in the past, but I think Canelo, he's still psychologically destroyed from the Floyd Mayweather loss. And I don't know if it's just because that he really thought that he could beat Floyd when he was unified, and he thought that that fight alone would have given him the biggest political surge in his career. But it's if anything, no, that fight actually made you better, but he just didn't take anything from that loss to get better. So ever since then, he's always been moving very funny. And I'd say, if anything, the biggest adversity out of his entire career is Triple G. And I would say maybe Caleb Plant to a certain degree. But it's ever since then, you could easily tell that Canelo's fighting style has always been the same thing. He's never made it, any like adjustments with Eddie Reynoso. And Eddie Reynoso, he even knows it himself. He doesn't even give Canelo proper instructions in training to help him, get better. Because it's like, if you call yourself pound for pound number one, to be like the greatest fighter out there, you should be making adjustments in all your big fights, and especially when you're training for difficult fights. But it's like Canelo's not doing that to the point where he's throwing his career away, and he's just thinking like nobody can't mess with him. But it's like at the end of the day, when somebody does, pull your card and pull your number, and when you finally come to the table to get exposed by that one fighter that everybody doesn't know, that eventually destroys you once again, then that will pretty much explain what type of fighter you are. You're not game bred. You don't put you don't put in that work inside of the gym to actually go up against the best opposition. You move a certain way to keep yourself avoided from deadly opposition that wants to take you out. So yeah.
Let me ask you this. Now, we know that Canelo has gotten some victories over some name guys, right? But when have you seen him make adjustments in a fight? When? And against whom?
Like, as far as his previous fights in his career or recently?
It doesn't matter. When have you seen him make adjustments in the fight?
I would say never.
Thank you. One mark of a seasoned quality fighter is that they can make adjustments, that they can do something to transition from one point where they are not necessarily as successful to get to another point where they can achieve new ground and have a breakthrough. That hasn't happened. I'm sorry, chat. I can't increase the volume for K-Rod because it's at maximum on my laptop here. I can't do anything about that volume. You may just have to turn your phones up or your tablets or whatever you're listening to, because I can hear them on my playback in my earpiece, and I've got my volume low. So if I increase it, I can hear him better. If you're accustomed to listening at a certain level, you might have to increase the dBs for his phone call. But I'm sorry, I can't do that. It's a distraction to my conversation of what I'm trying to say here. Knowing that this man doesn't make adjustments, he has thrived in mediocrity of fighting opponents that don't impose the notion of him needing to make adjustments. In other words, you can't have it your way against the guys who will do that, because they will give you a reason to change. Let me use Muhammad Ali as an example here. Muhammad Ali would be in the ring with a person, and he considered himself a scientific master boxer. Okay? Meaning that with the jab, the straight right hand, the hook off the jab, even a uppercut mixed in, combinations, being able to be elusive where you don't hit him back. We're not talking about him dancing on his toes now. We're talking about him straight up boxing. He never really threw body punches. Never. And when he was young, before they took his license from him, he was getting stoppages, knocking guys out. Because he was so fast, his punches were landing, and he was precise. On the chin, Ali would put it on your chin and get you out of there. When he knocked out George Foreman, the last punch that was thrown was a straight right hand right on George's chin as he was coming in, and George went down. Now, Ali didn't punch like Joe Frazier, George Foreman, or Ernie Shavers, or Cleveland Williams, but he put all of them in their place with his boxing ability. And when someone did something difficult, like Frazier brought the pressure like no one else. Foreman brought power that he hadn't seen. He made adjustments to be able to deal with these guys so he could still persevere and best them. Canelo has opted to not face the guys who will give him those challenges so he can still be a big fish in a small pond. And there are people out here that do not understand it because they are brainwashed into thinking that that is something good when it is not. Now, had he gone out and challenged himself, because remember, at the end of the day, that is a challenge to yourself, to go out there and see if you really have what it takes. If he does that and he's not successful, kudos to him for attempting. But this bastard doesn't even want to attempt that because he is so megalomaniac that he doesn't want to proceed. Did you see his response to the Bivol loss? That was totally unexpected. He was out drinking and doing stuff. He was misbehaving because he was like, how did this happen to me? Isn't that the same shit that Anthony Joshua was doing? They're not so different, are they? When you talk about the character of the two individuals, poor character will come through at the wrong times, and you fuckers out here are making excuses for these guys. Joshua took the man's belts and threw him out the ring. Canelo has denied giving Bivol any type of credit for being the better fighter. And he is. So his choice is to go back and to fight an aged guy that he got a draw against. And the draw means that the other guy could have fucking won. That wasn't a victory. And then he got a decision over the guy that some people think that the other guy should have got. But he didn't fight him up again right away. No, he waits 3-4 years. And the man is much older now and has been infrequently fighting. How heroic is that? How much of a warrior does that speak? If you don't get the hell out of here with that bull crap, let me tell you something about Marco Antonio Barrera. He came along rolling. He was going to be the new version of Julio Cesar Chavez. And he was a hell of a fighter. Great left hook to the body and to the head. He got in there with Poison Jr. Jones, and Poison Jr. Jones took him to school. And Barrera came back and fought him in a rematch. Got taken to school again. But off of the defeats, he went into the lab and worked on himself and got himself to a place of understanding boxing. He developed that left hand with the jab. He learned how to get in and out, not just lay on the inside and hunt a guy down where you can be eaten as well in the midst. And after he became a more complete fighter, the victories started ringing up again. Okay? And by the time the Prince came across the pond to start taking on the Western fighters. Upsets against Kevin Kelly, who should have beat him, but he let his mind go somewhere else. And then there were other fighters, Kennedy McKinney and guys like that. The Prince dined well until he got in there with Barrera. Now, this wasn't the Barrera pre-Poison Jr. Jones. This was the Barrera who had fought and lost to Poison Jr. Jones, had fought and battled with Eric Morales. Huh? And he took the Prince to school. Full education, to the point that the Prince graduated and didn't come back to university no more. A PhD in ass whooping he took that night. But Barrera learned that there were levels, and he worked to achieve the levels. This guy hasn't worked to do a damn thing. And he's a cheat. So what the hell are you celebrating? Learn your history. Learn about who's done what and how did they come about it. I don't care how many silk pajamas he wear and them really expensive Ray-Bans and all of that foolishness. He's just a good fighter. He's nowhere near great. He's nowhere near the best. And he damn sure is the ass of boxing, not the face. Anything else, K-Rod? Because I'm going to close that up so we can get some more calls in.
Yeah, like I just wanted to bring up one question and another topic that I wanted to, talk about. I just wanted to get your take on this. Do you think boxing should have, open scoring judging in fights? And I also wanted to bring up the situation about Gabriel Matias and Jeremiah Ponce, with the IBF title situation.
No, I think that boxing should start getting rid of these judges that have proven to be on the take and bring fresh people in. I think they need to get these guys out of the rotation. They need to be fired, vanquished from the sport. Because it's obvious that some of these relationships have gotten too intertwined that they compromise their ability to do their jobs sufficiently. Yeah.
And what's your thoughts on the Gabriel thing?
What's that?
I said, what's your thoughts on the Gabriel Matias situation?
I'm not aware of what's happened with Matias. I haven't heard anything, news or anything. What's going on with him?
Yeah, kind of local brought it up, but he told me earlier, about it. Basically, he was supposed to fight Ponce on the Deontay Wilder card, and I guess due to travel visa issues, Ponce can't fight Matias, so the IBF decided to make, Matias wait longer for Ponce to get his traveling situation taken care of. So I guess that right now, he's at a halt to wait until there's a next available fight date, right?
Well, that doesn't sound right. Just hearing it from you like that. And I didn't see Kano Loco this morning. I know he did a stream, but I was kind of running, doing some things here personally, and I couldn't catch any of the lives before I went on live. That's why I went on live at the last moment. But No, it doesn't sound right at all to me. And it sounds like there's some type of favoritism toward the guy that's having trouble with his visa or whatever. That's not Matthias's fault, and there's a lot of people currently can't fly and got visa problems that they ain't talking about, and that needs to be put on spotlight as well. But Matthias can always opt to fight for another sanctioning body or something like that. He could get the hell up out of there. People will only do to you what you allow them to do to you. That's what I have to say about that at the end of the day.
Yeah, like I was bringing it up a panel earlier, saying that what the IBF should do is that they should just get Ponce out of the way and just have up the next available ranked opponent fight Matthias for the vacancy, and then if Ponce wants to fight for it, he can fight for the winner or just work his way back up. Well,
see, you have to understand it like this, K-Rod. If Ponce's people paid the IBF to have the position that they're in, then they're obligated to him. You understand? Bet you didn't think about that, did you? But see, I've always said it, haven't I? I said, the rabbit hole runs deep. The things that I realize, I say these things, and they're not just, me talking. There's evidence of this stuff. But that's why I don't like to talk about it, because it's what makes me not really like the sport. They're going to protect a guy or do for a guy that they've received a bag from. I spoke about this about a week ago when talking about fighters who pay for the opportunity. And when you've done that, the sanctioning bodies will kind of bend over backwards for you. But isn't that conspiracy? Isn't that corruption? Isn't that poor ethic? But what was my stream, my live about yesterday? You see what I'm saying? When people don't pay attention to me, when you don't tune in to my content, and it's like you come in here brand new. But walk outside with some brand new shoes and see if dirt don't get on them. That's life. Let me go here, K-Rod, so I can get another call in, bro.
Okay.
Appreciate your call. All right. Peace. Phone line still open. People can call in. This is what it is, man. Have to tell it like it is. Some people don't want to hear the truth. Some people come for a belly rub. I ain't rubbing no bellies. I'll kick you in your belly, though. Pretty damn hard. So where we at? This poll with 61 votes has Canelo out front by KO at 39%. Triple G is second, 25%. See what we got. Okay, we got 254 in the building. Who's calling? What's on your mind?
Hey, Stormy, Sensei, this is Jared Old Evergreen.
Hey, Jared, how you doing, man?
I'm blessed, man. I can't complain, man.
Hey, man, thank you for, becoming a member for the channel and showing the support that you've been showing, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Man, I had to, man. You've been showing good content over the years I've been watching you, so, had to, brother.
Yes, sir. I know I stunned some folks with those things I just said a little while ago talking about Canelo, but hey, man, I'm sorry. I have to break it down like it is. You know what I mean?
It is what it is. Like you said, people want their emotions massaged, they can go somewhere else.
That's right. That's right. You know what's funny? For such a sport that requires such fortitude and strength and focus, that this modern age society has matriculated into the sport of boxing to the degree that they want you to handle the fighters soft too. Get the fuck out of here. A fight is a freaking fight, man.
Exactly.
If you fighting in the street, is the other guy gonna take time out and say, well, look here, man, if I hit you in the chin, that's cool, right? But if I hit you in your eye, we'll stop, okay? What? It's a fight.
No, that's not how that works.
I'm going upside your head, bruh. And you know what? Because we're in the street, I might not be using my hands.
You might use a brick, knife.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's at your own risk. Huh?
See?
Yeah. So if you want to go there, listen. I'm old now. I ain't got time to be dancing around and wrestling with you in the street and everything. Huh? I want to go home. And if it's you standing between me and getting home, I got to do what I got to do to get through you to get home. That means you can't do nothing else to me. That means you can't get back up. That means it's over when I've taken my action. So when I take my action, is that what you want? Is this the end all? Because otherwise it ain't no need for a fight, is it? Huh? You could just be in disagreement. Yeah? You don't like me, I don't like you. So what? Bye. I'm going home. But if you want to take it there, are you really prepared to go there? You got life insurance? Huh? You got a suit picked out? Huh? Final arrangements? Anyone? Damn these soft feelings. Think about the reality. That's what's wrong with boxing today. And then you have the PTB who assist in these things being the way that they are. Damn shame. But go ahead, Jared. I know I was running my mouth, but you called in, so I'm going to let you talk. You go ahead, bro.
Hey, I'm in your house. I'm in your house. I'm in your house. Really didn't have anything to say about boxing per se. Just want to come in. Just remind everybody, man, support this brother, man. Y'all see that one of the great brothers, Curtis Anderson is on. So while this brother is here, y'all talk about black people support black people. I don't care if it's social media or whatever. There's so much bias in social media, on TV, especially within the black athletes. When we got a brother like, we have to support him. So that's why we got LGBT. So y'all don't just have ass support. Support this brother, man.
Listen, I said it a while back when Kurt passed away. I took it personal with some of the comments that came in, and I didn't like do a live stream on it or nothing. I just made comments at the time because people were saying things like, oh yeah, you know, the historian, and you know, he'll be missed and this and that or whatever. And I called a lot of people at that time hypocrites because I was like, okay, now we know Blue Blood is a big channel. Kurt collabed with Blue Blood daily up until his health started, you know, deteriorating. So people saw Kurt on Blue Blood because Blue Blood draws those numbers like that, and all respect to him. But you know, Kurt, Scrapbook, and myself, we had the Three Wise Men of boxing show that we did. And we started out on Saturdays. And, you know, when we started out, people, you know, a handful would come in and check us out and stuff like that. Then people started going up against us on Saturdays, you know, like a person will go live, you know, when we go live, a person that should be in our chat paying attention to our show will go live, trying to draw attention away from us or whatever. We knew what this was. Then Scrapbook had to do some things with his son and everything, so we changed the date to Thursday nights. Now, we moved to Thursday nights. Then here come people on Thursday nights. Same thing. But when Kurt passed away, the same people were saying stuff like, oh, he'll be missed. You know, he was a historian, man. The Three Wise Men show was something else. But where the hell were you? Our numbers were low on the Three Wise Men in the live sessions. They would go up, you know, on replay value and stuff like that. But those people weren't watching us live. They weren't sitting there waiting for us to go live. We did it every Thursday night. And we had plenty of content for you. Even when the brothers got sick, you know, and we had a guest on or whatever, it just, listen, we were very consistent with this. But where were those people? Where were they? You fucking hypocrites. You want to sit up and talk about how, oh, he'll be missed. Why weren't you there? There's nothing like kinetic, live action, interaction. We'd end the show sometimes with 80 views. But you niggas would sit up there and be in a person's chat talking about nothing by the hundreds. And I talked about this.
Just like you said on your show yesterday, conspiracy is like a lot of people around here fake, man.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And you know what? Fakery and fuckery are the same. And I ain't got time for it. So either somebody gonna be down with me or they just gonna be fucking down. That's real. That's real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You ever heard that example that said when black person's trying to set up a business in the community, another black person who was jealous of them will try to set up not a different business, but the exact same business. Because if that nigga can do what I can do. But we don't do that against the Feinstein. We don't do that against Mr. and Mrs. Santos.
Yeah.
We don't do that against the Wongs. We do that against our own black people.
Yep, set to try to destroy one another. You know? And it's a shame. But see, that's been bred into people. But let me just say this real quick. I'm not even going to go there right now because this is not the show for it. But it's a fact. and it's been bred into you, and you don't know it. You know why? Because you done lost all knowledge of self. If you go back and read, open up a book, they're trying to take the books away from you because they're trying to take reading away from you. If you were to do that and study a little bit, you'd understand. Huh? It's easy to throw these words around, narcissistic, right? And this what's the other one that they like to use? Huh? But the thing about it is, you got to get something from a source to open you up to understanding. Because as I said yesterday on my live stream, reading and comprehension are a part of each other. And comprehension is more significant than you know. Because you can get beyond certain words that you can't read. But if you have no comprehension, you are fucked.
Yes, sir, because I can read a whole paragraph and don't understand a damn thing it says. You can read it word for word. So definitely comprehension is very important.
Absolutely. And how can a person comprehend anything if the mouth is always open, running? I've given this analogy so many times. I said there's a reason why you have two ears and one mouth. Could you imagine if people had two mouths and one ear? Wouldn't be able to do shit. Huh? Think about it. Now I'm going to bring it even closer to you. You could lose hearing in one ear. You could lose hearing in both ears. So that means that if you could only communicate by talking, but you can't hear, the other senses have to be intensified, magnified. That's to be able to assist you in making it through. If you couldn't speak, you could still make it through life much easier. Huh?
Yeah.
If you could not speak, you could make it through life much easier. It won't be a difficulty really, because you could write stuff down, you could use sign, you could do a lot of things. But try walking without your eyes. Try existing without being able to hear. Try doing anything without being able to smell anything. Touch. Taste. You see? This is why it's important, and I say it all the time. The mouth and the ass are two of the nastiest places. Okay? The Bible will tell you about the tongue. Okay? Your sense of smell will tell you about the dung. Now you tell me, why is it that some people you can't tell the difference where it's coming from?
I like that.
Tell me.
I wish I could, Sensei.
These are the kind of things that I talk about. But see, to come over here, I ain't BSing over here. You understand? I can crack a joke from time to time, but I ain't to be played with, nor to be taken as a fool. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And see, Kurt and I, we were brothers together. The only thing we hadn't done yet was to meet each other face to face, which we were planning on doing. That brother and I, we vibed so strongly. He was a best bud that I had never met in the flesh. And I miss him terribly because he would bring light to my day, and I know that I did some things for him as well. And it was genuine.
Sensei, you gotta be at the next meeting, LDBC meeting, because I want to meet you. Because when I met I Am in Will all them 78 black CC, everybody was, there was no arrogance, there was no arrogant spirit in the room. Everybody was as they was, like on YouTube. Cool as a fan, man. Cool as a fan.
Yes, sir. And I'm looking to make the next one. You know, next year I would definitely put some time aside to try to get out there and be there amongst the brothers and sisters. I definitely want to do that. I want to take a quick moment and acknowledge a Cash App from Mr. Pac-Man 216 out there. He says, for keeping up the good work. I appreciate you, Mr. Pac-Man. Thank you so much, brother.
But I'm going to get off here and listen. But keep doing what you're doing, sister. I know it can be frustrating. Because as far as boxing knowledge, as far as breaking stuff down, you're the main channel I listen to. Of course, I listen to the main channels or whatever. Definitely the other LGBTC brothers, but as far as breaking sport down, as somebody who's been trained boxers before, you definitely got it. So don't be discouraged. I know you a lot of fake people around here, but trust me, we appreciate you here in the LGBTC. A lot of people. So you have a blessed day, Stormy. Love you, brother. Everybody else have a blessed day. I'm gonna sit back and listen to the chat.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. Love you too, man, and thank you again for your support, man. And we need more brothers like yourself out here, because again, in order to have any type of sturdy, strong foundation, you have to have the backs that are willing to support and uphold. That's important. That's important. I couldn't be where I am and doing what I'm doing without a base of people to support. But I do know about the fakery out there and everything, but we're going to let that fall by the wayside, because when you're on the move, you don't worry about what's behind you. You worry about the ground that you're gaining ahead of you. So that's how you do that. Yes, sir. So, yeah. Great call there from Jared, man. Great call. Man, I put a pot of greens on before I went live. Man, them greens are smelling so good right now. I'm like, yeah, they ain't even ready yet. I'm ready. Man, I'm ready. Make me some cornbread. Yeah. I'm going back reading some of you guys' comments, man. I got appreciation for everybody writing compliments in the chat and everything. But you know, again, I have to speak it like, you know, on the real. It's nothing fake here, man. Nothing fake. Diana, I really appreciate you too out there, sister, because you're always showing that support. 704 Joe, Just Do, Jason William. That's right, Jason. Kwee says it. There's a reason that listen and silent have the same letters. Can't do one without the other. Okay, we got 267 in the building. Who's calling? What's on your mind? Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Stormybman? This is B-Mac.
Hey, B-Mac, what's good with you, man? Welcome.
Not much, just getting ready for some football and seeing what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about today, coming in late.
Oh, man, it's the call-in show. We're talking about, whatever's going on in boxing, man. And my latest comments were kind of geared up on, Alvarez and Triple G fight coming up next weekend. But we don't have to talk about that if you got something on your mind or whatever. I know, the NFL is kicking off. It's time for football again. I haven't been tapped into the NFL in about 6-7 years now, man. I think I might try to go back and start watching some stuff because boxing is starting to give me the flux. And I might need a break away from the sport. But what's on your mind?
Yeah, boxing tough. It's bad, man. I think it's these promoters, man. So as bad as Don King was, I guess he was a blessing because fights was getting off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these guys, they're not fighting for nothing. And it's I thought De La Hoya and let's say a Mayweather be good promoters because of what they went through, and they used to be fighters and they know what the fans want. And they're worse promoters than Bob Arum.
Well, see, that's the thing, man. Again, you cannot deny poor character at the end of things is always going to show itself. See, we didn't know about Oscar's poor character till a little bit later in his career, before he retired and things began to come out, like, him cross-dressing and all of that stuff. See, all of that stuff leads to something more significant, a problem that is like it's like the high school athlete. He's really good, but he dumb as hell. He can't pass his classes, but the teachers pass him because he helping the team win championships and stuff. So even when he go for the SATs and stuff, they kind of manipulate stuff so he could get into college, and then he could go do it on that level and then maybe pro. You know what I'm saying? It's like they keep passing the grade, making someone available for more access, but no one's ever dealt with the issues that they have at hand. And when you do that, the scar or the wound only gets bigger or worse or more infested, So when you do those things, you understand that there's problem that comes along with that. That analogy I just gave you is perfect because it's life. It's really. But Hopkins, all them guys, listen, did you notice that Shane Mosley got away from them?
Oh, wow.
Did you notice that?
I didn't really pay attention to that, but yeah.
But he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Why? I'm gonna ask this question to you, and I'll pose it to the chat that's out there listening. Why do you think Shane got away from him?
He seen that they wasn't for real. They had a lot of, I guess, clown stuff going on, which you see now that's coming to light.
And because at one time he was caught up on a more personal level, you see how he was taken advantage of by that person he was married to.
Oh, what happened with that? I don't know that.
Oh, his wife took him to the cleaners.
Oh yeah, that's all of them. Yeah.
But see, I'm not trying to harp on that. What I'm trying to say is that, but Shane got away from that. He said, "It ain't for me. It ain't for me." That's cool. A man has to know his limitations. But Floyd doing what? Listen, Floyd is now hurting Tank Davis. He's hurting him.
Yes.
He's hurting him.
Yes.
Yes, he helped him. But now he's hurting him. And how might you say that he's hurting? Because Tank is now like, you ever seen a giant goldfish? They're like about as big as your hand. You've seen those, right?
Yeah, I've seen them.
But what good would it be to put a goldfish like that in one of those little fish bowls? Wouldn't that look stupid?
Yeah, because he can't go nowhere. He's going to sit
Thank
there and look at you.
That's Tank under Floyd's promotion.
Yeah.
Now, instead of opening things up for Tank, still being his promoter, because Tank is talented enough to get some things done. He's not that guy. He's not Ryan Garcia, okay? He's not. You could get a lot done with Tank. A fighter like Tank, man, you could take him around the world. You could put him in with different types of opposition. He's got the equalizer. He's entertaining. And people just freaking like the guy. It's like, you know, sometimes people just don't like a dude. Like my favorite fighter, Evander Holyfield. It didn't matter who he beat or whatever. People just didn't like Holyfield. They respect him now. His career is over. He's retired. He's like going on 60 years old now. But it's like when he fought, people didn't care. It's like, oh, Tyson still beat him. Tyson still beat him. And that was before he fought Tyson, right? Yeah, but that was before he fought Mike. But I'm just saying, it didn't matter what he did or who he defeated. They didn't give him respect. Well, Tank don't have that problem. People like Tank.
Yeah, they do.
So why is Floyd got him like that goldfish in the little bowl, but the giant goldfish? Why is Floyd got him like that? Why?
I don't. Floyd is Floyd, man. Floyd. He haven't promoted anybody with any kind of substance, and he has good fighters. They have good fighters, and it's trying to go up to the next level, and there's no show and tell. Like when Floyd was fighting and De La Hoya, when they was fighting. They were fighting people. They were building their legacy. Now when they're promoters, their fighters don't fight anybody. De La Hoya didn't want Alvarez to fight anybody, any substance until he left him, and then he started saying, well, why don't you fight Charlo? Well, why didn't you make him fight Charlo when you had him? Or Demetrius Andrade, or you know, his contemporaries, what you say, you know? I want to see Triple G.
It's a shame, man.
One of them.
It's a shame.
I like Triple G. Triple G was good. He had a chin. I said, okay, you beat Danny Jacobs. Let me see you fight Charlo or Demetrius Andrade or somebody, you know?
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Abel Sanchez, I think, poisoned Triple G against fighting quality opposition. I can't prove that, but I think he played a hell of a role in that because...
He helped hide.
Right, but if he had gone a different way, because remember, Abel trained Terry Norris and Orlin Norris, and he put Terry Norris in with every freaking body.
I know. That's what I don't get these guys. All of them, the promoters.
That's what I'm getting at. So I don't know if Abel just wanted to ride the gravy train of whatever money was coming with Triple G and everything, because I don't know that end of it, but I do know that he could have told Triple G, with the experience that he had of observation being around the sport of boxing, there are a couple of fighters that you need to fight that could give you the type of legacy and respect that you would command. You don't have to fight each and every one, but you have to fight a few of them, because if you do that, win, lose, or draw, the respect will be there. I gave an example of that talking about Marco Antonio Barrera earlier, because Barrera was brought out, he was going to be the new Chavez for Mexicans and stuff like that. But he had a setback. But after having a setback, he went back into the gym and got better. He added to his boxing acumen and became a much more complete fighter. And he went on to have classic battles against Marquez, against Morales, against Pacquiao, against the Prince. You know, he went on and had a great career. And when you look back at him and what he's accomplished, you take your hat off and you respect the guy because of what he's accomplished. Canelo won't get that from me. And he won't get that from the real boxing people, because they know what he's doing. They know. And Triple G won't get it because the damage has been done already. Even if Triple D decided after a victory over Alvarez, if he decided, well, I'm going to try to fight Charlo now, or I'm going to try to fight someone, it don't matter, bro. You're closer to, new diapers. Yeah, you're closer to new diapers than you are, learning, being potty trained. Huh? So it's like what's that?
He's going to be like Kawasaki. Kawasaki was undefeated, and people respected Kawasaki, but he's supposed to take it up to the next level and fight Roy and Bernard when they were still in their prime, and he didn't do it. He waited too long.
Yeah.
His best win is Jeff Lacey. Who's Jeff Lacey? Like, who cares? That's why he's not mentioned in that realm.
Yeah, man, and it's a shame.
That's going to be Triple G. He's going to be him.
It's a shame because there are other fighters who deserve, basically, and I've done shows and videos on this about being in there with your contemporaries. When you're in there with your contemporaries, what happens is, upon reflection, when you look back, it becomes a thing where you say, well, he was better than this guy. He was better than that guy. He lost to this guy, but at least he fought those guys. You see what I'm saying? But when you skate through and you have all these excuses and everything, and like what Canelo is saying now, trying to say like, I'm not going to fight any Mexicans because I represent Mexico. Man, that's an insult. That's an insult and a cover-up that you don't want to face quality opposition, because there are some Mexican fighters out there that will whoop Canelo's ass right now. Right now. Yes, he knows that. And the thing about it, you get a guy like a Mikey or Robert Garcia who will come out and say, well, Canelo has earned the right. He ain't earned the right for shit.
Yeah.
Who y'all got y'all asses whooped by? Robert and Mikey?
Yeah.
Who whooped y'all asses? Huh?
The brothers whooped their ass.
Exactly. And who is Canelo not facing?
The brothers.
And the good Mexicans. You see, because I ain't turning it into a race thing. I'm keeping it real. I just gave a ton of acknowledgement that there are good to great Mexican fighters out there chomping at the bit for the opportunity, and he is denying them.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's done on purpose, not only to the illusion, too, with the economics. They are making sure, you would think Mexican would be, because they're one of the most tight groups that stick together, but he don't want to fight them. He don't want to stick together with them. So that's kind of odd. I think if he did, I think those big purses would stop coming in. The same thing with Floyd when he wouldn't promote black fighters fighting against him. You know, it's kind of like a crazy conspiracy theory.
It's an illness. It's an illness.
Yeah,
you know what it is?
If they have money, they can't fight their own.
It's an
fight the outsider.
B-Mac, it's an illness, because what happens is you continue to assist in perpetuating the misnomer that people are separate, people are divided, people are divisive, and things of that nature. No, what happens with the way that the wheel works in this society is, if you maintain separation and division amongst people, they don't come together with strength to overthrow someone having authority over them.
Yeah.
See, that's game.
Yeah.
When you don't realize that there's a game being played, you have no choice but to be a pawn or a piece in the game.
Yeah, you get played. Yeah. Same
Huh?
thing with this queen when she passed. Yeah.
Listen.
How different countries respond, and they head to state. It ain't that the people say, oh no, that's not us. But when your head of state, your prime ministers, your president is responding to a woman that's been kicking your ass ever since you've been in existence and beyond, you know, it's brainwash. And you see it on a lower level in boxing too. See it with Floyd, see it with Alvarez, see it with promotion, see it with PBC.
Listen. I'm going to give you an example of what you just said. Floyd, if he were a different type of individual, just walk with me here.
Mm-hmm.
If Floyd were a different type of individual and had endorsed Deontay Wilder, being the only the only medalist, from that Olympics that he had participated in, and shows support for him, the same type of support that the Johnny Nelsons and the Tony Bellews and all that show for Anthony Joshua over there, right? If Floyd had showed that to Deontay Wilder and said, this is our heavyweight, we had an era of foreign heavyweights that fought in their countries and this and that, but now this is our guy, he's knocking people out, I support him, this is my man, you know what I mean? If Floyd had done that, not only is Deontay Wilder big right now, but he'd be even greater than where he is right now, because that's the type of support we should be giving one another. We should be. But Floyd was jealous.
Yes, he is.
Floyd was jealous of what the man was doing, and he wasn't even a threat to Floyd's record or anything. He's fighting in a different weight class and everything. But the coup de grace, to show you exactly the kind of person Floyd is when Wilder did lose the second fight to Fury, what did Floyd say? I'll teach him how to beat Fury. You wait till the man loses to decide to offer up. At least we know that that's just words that he spoke, because he probably didn't really mean it, right? But he spoke those words. And does that, more than anything, sound like a hater? It sounds like a person who was relishing in the fact that D suffered a defeat, but really didn't take part in any type of reasoning to assist with how he can get around the defeat and become better and persevere. See, you have to watch people like that.
Yeah.
There are people in this chat right now. There are people watching this show right now that are like that. And they'll
gym that I go to, I had a full-fledged argument over this when we talking about with Wilder.
Yeah.
One of my trainers, he calling me, oh, Wilder was a bully. He was a bully. He bullied
a bully? A bully?
That's what he said. I'm arguing with him, a full-fledged argument with the guy.
Right. That's why I'm just, my cynicism is saying a bully. Do you know that a couple of days ago at the press conference for Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall called Clarissa a bully? Dude, that's their go-to thing when you speak with confidence, when you are self-approved and capable. The first thing they want to call you is a bully.
Yeah.
A bully. When you're talking about two people, and I call the three of them, Clarissa, Deontay, and Devin, I call them the Titans. I nicknamed them that yesterday on my live. When you have people like that, the Titans, that they represent their people, their country, their families, and they do for others, they care for others in society or whatever, dude, there is nothing bullying about that whatsoever. So now you unmask the true ugliness that exists that nobody wants to acknowledge. The racism, the bigotry, the prejudice against us. Because when you're good and they can't compete, they have to find ways to conspire for your defeat.
Yeah, they try to destroy your character. Yeah, when they can, they start deflecting. It be everything else but the goal of the fight. And you raised a good point the other day when you were talking about her power being, coached by Fury uncle. I never even looked at that, but I always looked at, you can see if somebody on something just by their performance. Just go from their past performance to their present and see what they keep doing, and that'll tell you right there. And what you just laid out, I looked at it. I said, man, you're absolutely right. She's on something. Fury in the 12th round, still jumping around like he's in the first. He's on something.
Yeah.
You know.
I gave the example of Fury being like some NFL lineman with his size,
Exactly.
right? And I said, look at the NFL linemen. You say you're getting ready to watch some football today. When you look at them in the fourth quarter, what are they doing? Standing with their hands on their hips, sucking up. Exactly. Why wasn't Fury sucking up air? Deontay was hitting him in the body in them first couple of rounds with some really heavy, devastating punches, and he was still able to move around and everything. That wasn't conditioning. No.
Exactly.
That was assistance.
He told on himself when you first fought Deontay Wilder. He said after that fight, he said when Wilder threw a jab at him, he said, because you know you've been sparring before, you can feel the person's power even if they don't hit you.
Right.
You can feel it, right? So he said Wilder threw a jab at him, and it missed him. He said, "Oh my God, that's a jab." That's a Fury thing. He said, "Yeet."
Listen.
And Wilder didn't get tired the first fight. And you can look at the first fight too. Fury was hitting Wilder, you know, with just some shots, and you can see Wilder respond. He walked right through it. Second fight, he had a dent in his head and he destroyed Wilder. Third fight, the same thing. And he on something. Something's wrong.
Yep.
Something's wrong. When you go 12 rounds with somebody and they hit you and you have no response, you walk through it. Now all of a sudden, as soon as they touch you, you falling apart. And like you said, he fought Wilder and those other two guys and didn't bust a grape. And was hitting them. Didn't bust a grape.
Absolutely, man.
Now he's he got what's the name power now? George Foreman and the guy just passed away.
Yeah, Ernie Shavers. Yeah. Yeah.
Ernie Shavers.
Yeah.
He got all their powers now all of a sudden.
And that's the thing too, because it has always been said in boxing that punches are born. You can't teach a person punching power. You can't.
Power you can't teach.
No. That's just like you can't teach a person to float and hang in the air with hang time like Michael Jordan. You can't teach that.
No, you can't do that. Even Floyd footwork and Ali footwork, you can show somebody, but that's a talent.
Absolutely, man. So
you can't do that. That's a talent. But what else? That's about it. Fight. Got all the fights on the same date. That's by design.
yeah, they did. I talked about that yesterday. If you didn't check my stream out yesterday, please go and check it out, because I did a.
And I fell asleep on it.
Yeah, I went over that in detail, man, and I broke it all down what they were doing, and it is exactly what I said. So, you know, but hey, you know, this is something, but people got to wake up, man. People got to wake up. That's all I can say. People got to wake up.
Yeah, I mean, it's so blatant where I'm calling everything fascism now. I just call it fascism.
Yeah.
It's so blatant when it comes to us. I'm like, what group of people in the history of this planet ever overthrew a fascist regime or government without any outside help? So, with black folks is in America, compared to the rest of the world, that's, you know, subject probably to the same stuff we are, you know, they're not doing as good. As bad as we doing, we're still doing better than a lot of people or any other people in the time of history that had to deal with a fascist regime. So,
Yeah, it's something.
that's the way I look at it, you know.
Yeah. I want to acknowledge a super chat donation that just came in from Straight Convo saying, do you think they would allow a black man with Fury's size and height to fight in boxing? Well, there have been some black men with his size and height, but they didn't have certain skill set to become world class champion. But listen, man, it's not even about the size and everything. It's about that pigmentation, brother. It's about that pigmentation, and they are willing to go down with the ship and preserving. That's why y'all need to wake the hell up and understand what you're supposed to be preserving.
Look how they treating Carissa Shields. She got to watch it over there. She's behind enemy lines.
Absolutely.
And even over here, she was even fighting over here in school behind enemy lines, because for this country to allow what happened to Wilder at his hometown happen. I'm talking about they're so uptight when it comes to the national anthem. Those Brits come over here and pull their pants down and bend over and take a crap right on their national anthem, and they don't say anything. The media, the people, the promoters in charge, nobody. They turn it off.
I agree.
I mean, it's all about the zone. Like, if you're going to talk about us protesting the national anthem, but them more on blast too. They whistle, they boo, all types of stuff. They did it way back with Floyd when it wasn't even a problem with us. They did it when Floyd fought Ricky Hatton. They did it when any kind of Brit come over here with a big fight. They crap on the U.S. And it's funny looking at them because they don't even respond. They ignore them. They don't say anything. They don't go back and forth. They don't want to fight them. They don't shout at them. The Brits come over here in small numbers and they be looking for a conflict.
Yep.
And these guys, they cower down.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
They giving them fingers and all. I couldn't believe it. Look at this. Look at this. But, you know, it is what it is. She just got to, Carissa Shields, she's been training real good. She just got to outbeat all the judges. Any kind of dirty cheating tactics she's doing with the gloves, she got to have good checkers. Make sure they didn't spike her water or any other thing. They got all types of stuff. Make sure they don't do any rituals on her before the fight, a la Tyson Fury in his third fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a ritual when he came out. Too.
Yes, it was. And see, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you say that. And listen, B-Mac, let me say this to you. Much respect to you for recognition, because so many of our people are blind.
Yeah.
And that's a great precursor into a new conversation that I could have on a future stream, because I had said going into the first fight that I thought that Deontay Wilder was prayed up. And he may have been. But I don't know if they really realized the forces that they were going up against.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm not going to really go into a conversation on that right now because it's just about the end of this show. But I do want to give you acknowledgement for that. And hold fast to your thoughts on that, because you are definitely on the right track.
Yeah, so for sure Carissa, she can beat all of that, but she just got to watch it. Because after that third round and that third fight, I seen Wilder's soul come out of his body.
Yep.
And it wasn't no hit when he was tired. I seen his soul left his body. I said, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, man. So, but yeah, let me get ready to wrap things up. Hey, man, I appreciate your call. And please keep supporting like you're doing. And stay on that awakened path, bro, because it will serve you well. Okay?
Yeah. All right,
So,
Stormy B, man, I appreciate it.
all right, brother. You take care and don't be a stranger. Call again, all right?
Peace.
Peace to you. Wow. I hate having to cut that call short because I'm at the end of the show, but man, I could go on that. But again, great conversation to have for a future date. Man, I want to say salute to everybody out there. You guys have been here today. The energy of the call-in show today has been magnificent. And I really appreciate everyone that came in today, you know, showing that love and support like they have. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But, man, there's a lot of things to learn in this life. And everything doesn't have to be learned from, you know, personal experience. You can learn from others. It's important to be able to learn from a distance. It's important. It's part of the cycle. Yeah, Diana, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to say salute to everybody that came out and showed the love today. The super chats, the cash apps, those who hit the like button, the callers, and those in the chat that carried on. Tremendous conversation. I pay attention to everything. You guys are wonderful. I love you all for it. But we're going to wrap things up, get on up out of here. And I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC. It's been another Answering the Bell with Stormybman, number 53 in the series of call-in shows. We'll catch you guys next Sunday on this. Peace to everyone. Everyone remain safe out there. Love you all. God bless.